Welcome to Liberty Bugle Town Hall. There's a lot of chest thumping by the Biden administration that they made 9,000 permits available to the oil and gas industry to bring more product to the marketplace and reduce our energy costs. There's also raging debate about the economic viability these permits provide the industry. Let's take a closer look. First, indeed, Biden's number is true. Let's wake up the president to get his take.
They have 9,000 permits to drill now. They could be drilling right now, yesterday, last week, last year.
So let's verify. Are there really 9,000 unused drilling permits?
Our sources are the Bureau of Land Management, the Independent Petroleum Association of America, and Ed Hers, an energy fellow at the University of Houston.
The permits that President Biden is referencing are on federal land. There are about 37,000 permits that are currently issued, and both the BLM and the oil industry confirm nearly 9,200 of those drilling permits are not currently in use. So, yes, there are 9,000 unused drilling permits. There are a number of reasons why this is happening. The Western Energy Alliance says some permits are tied up in courts over environmental concerns. The Independent Petroleum Association points out there's a months-long delay for piping material, and some sites might not have oil.
If you've gone like most companies do and filed a dozen or 2 dozen at a time, and your first well turns up to be a dry hole, you're not going to go ahead and drill the rest of those.
Well, that sure makes sense. Now, let's hear from some people who speak about the economic viability of these permits.
No, Joe, it's not quite that simple. I mean, the statement is a bit misleading. Because you're renting a piece of property doesn't mean that you have a permit to drill for oil on it. You have to go through a separate process. You have to go through a process at the Department of Interior, as well as perhaps the EPA and other environmental agencies that are at the state level. So there's a long process. You may need a permit to build a road to get to that part of the property where you'd like to drill. You're certainly going to need permits for pipelines to move that product off of that land and into the marketplace. It's a very complex process, and the permits are at every stage of the value chain. So it's a bit misleading to suggest that there's 9,000 leases available in the industry is simply sitting on them.
This leasing thing is a complete red herring. I mean, actually, normally you'd have about 40,000 leases outstanding, but that doesn't matter because they need permits for actual sales, for actual drilling, and for actual pipelining. And the whole story here is they're not getting any applications through. The Interior Department is stopping them.
That's right.
The Energy Department is stopping them. The EPA is stopping them. And, of course, they're under assault from the SEC and the Federal Reserve not to make loans to oil companies.
Wait, this is a really important point.
Other industry officials say that these 9,000 permits are literally guaranteed to lose any company money. You know, no one with half a brain would take these deals. It's not a viable offer to be taken seriously from the Biden administration. Sometimes, don't you just wonder whose side this president is on? To your liberty.